Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the most dramatic season of us discussing The Bachelorette ever.
That's right.
We are here with the drama. I tried to get on the suit of armor before we did the video. It just wasn't fitting right. By the way, I love the doctor. This was actually my favorite limo entrance. The doctor who comes in is just like, is there an emergency? I don't remember what he said. It was some terrible doctor pun. It was like...
I loved all the guys who showed up in stuff like suits of armor and the giant bubble in Palm Springs. It is so hot there. I felt so bad for them. I was like, man, you guys are champs.
Somebody's going to totally push that dude in the bubble in like a pool or something, and then he's not going to be able to get out. That's good. Listen, there are going to be times this season on The Bachelorette where I'm inevitably going to have a short attention span. I'm going to start thinking about stupid things. But we have a lot to talk about in this video. The introduction of Clare's season, the changes to the show, the fact that it is already abundantly obvious that she is probably going to pick Dale.
Yeah, she is.
They're not even bothering to hide it at this point.
No, that promo basically showed us that that is who she is with. That silhouette at the end where she looks like she's in a wedding dress and she's standing beside clearly Dale, like it is going there, guys.
Listen, I think they're pretty clearly acknowledging the fact that, like, a lot of the stories and rumors about this season are already out there. So, save for one key twist, a certain possible other Bachelorette that they're still pretending nobody knows about.
Yes.
Everything else is out there, but we are going to get into it. Before we do, if you guys enjoy this video, give us a like, subscribe, because we're going to be here all season. Hit that notification bell for more. Support us further by checking those links to the store as well as our Patreon.
All right, so where should we start with this? This season is obviously different because of everything that is going on with the health crisis. And so the beginning, yeah, it felt different. Things were very different. People were getting tested. People were in quarantine. People, you know, the guys went through a lot to be there for just a chance to be in love or on the show, or as Claire said, you're here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I actually really like that. I thought that was very clever.
Claire has had a lot of time in order to practice some of these lines with all of the time she's been in lockdown for this.
I really like Claire. I liked her before the season. I'm really excited that she is the Bachelorette.
Yeah, I think Claire came across really well in this episode. I surprisingly really liked, like, all of the weird lockdown confessionals from the dudes.
Yeah, it was cool.
Usually, because I feel like in this situation what we get instead is, oh, here is bro Brad running down the boardwalk with no shirt on, or here is bro John in the shower.
With no shirt on.
Yeah, it's always the same things. Or here's another bro, he's got a shirt on, but he's in the gym, and he's wearing like that sleeveless thing, and he's just like, ugh, I am ready to show them my muscles. Like,
what is happening in this video?
Listen, I don't have these kind of muscles. This is how I project my own feelings onto these people. Now it is time for therapy, but I liked it was different. I liked the guy was having a weird conversation with Claire in this tub.
I just like that it felt a little more genuine, because you are right. I make fun, but you are right. It normally is a bunch of Chad is running down the beach with no shirt on, or John is over here, you know, doing open heart surgery with no shirt on. There's always somebody with no shirt on, and it all kind of just doesn't feel very genuine. So it was cool to get these kind of packages where it was a little more like, almost like they were here having a one-on-one with me.
I like the fact that even though they went through all these precautions and everything else, the Bachelorette was still like, oh, you think we're going to change a single thing about the format for night one? You are totally wrong. Here is a bunch of really corny and hokey limos. Fartbox guy, I don't even know this guy's name, but how much money did production give this guy that he's going to, I'm joking obviously, but it's like, you have one impression to make this woman fall in love with you, and you're going to bring out, after staying locked up for days on end.
Yeah, you're going to bring a 39-year-old woman a fart box. You might as well just get back in the limo and go.
Yeah, did you just want like 2 weeks in a hotel where you didn't have anything to do? Was that your goal?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, we don't know for sure that production gives them these things, but they probably do. So if you're the guys and the production's like, hey, you want to give this fart box ring? Yeah, you just went through 2 weeks of quarantine being tested all the time, which looked really painful, so that you can be the guy with the fart box. Like, no.
I will tell you my favorite limo introduction / possible person of this entire season at the moment.
All right.
Give me a full season of Easy. Like,
I love Easy. I was hoping you would say that. I like him so much. Listen, if it wasn't for Dale, and we all know that this is kind of where it's going, I love Easy. He's just so genuine. He really is. I feel like what I see is what I get. And it's kind of rare that you get that on this show.
It's so weird with this guy because, like, he'll have these moments.
I think you mean awesome.
Okay, if there's things that Easy says that I think if it came from another person, I would be like, okay, that person's being totally cocky. But it's like Easy, he's got a charisma that he can get away with it.
He does.
Like, he's likable, but he's also like this huge character. He bursts through which, by the way, it seems fun, like bursting through like a big paper banner like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh cool. Yeah, I'm here.
It was cool.
I really like him, and it did seem like he had like a softer side of him where he was sort of genuine, and I hope, Easy, that you do come back for Bachelor in Paradise, because clearly Claire is going to pick Dale, or if, I don't know, if a certain someone is the Bachelorette later this season, hopefully you're still there.
Yes, and if not, and after we have Matt James, maybe we can have Easy.
Yeah, can we find
Easy? It
is easy.
I like it.
Easy like Monday evening, where the show will probably be on again because the schedule is weird this time.
All right, so we have to talk about the guy in the straitjacket, because talking about like the guy with the fart box, I mean, the guy with the straitjacket, again, if production's coming to me and being like, you've been in quarantine for 2 weeks and doing all these tests, and now how about this straitjacket? How do you feel about this? I was like, okay, maybe this guy's like, all right, sure, I'll do it for the entrance. An hour and a half later into the show, the guy is still in it. At the rose ceremony, he is getting a rose, and he is still wearing this. That is some commitment.
Yes.
How did this happen?
I think his name is Jay. I might be wrong, but this
Straitjacket Jay?
Straitjacket Man, you know, you are following in a long line of tradition of people committing way too much to their craft. Like, I think it was Sean's season. There was that woman, Lindsay, who showed up in the wedding dress and was in that for like the full episode.
Yeah, even the guy in the suit of armor, he just like stripped that off right there and was just like, nope, we're in Palm Springs and this is super hot.
Yeah, like there was a guy who wore a mask, I think, one season, and he had that on for like 2 or 3 episodes, and then he took it off, and you could see she clearly was not into him anymore.
I remember that.
That was the saddest I have ever been after one of these twists.
It was so good.
The production did him so dirty.
Yeah,
but
they did.
I'm predicting Straitjacket Man will have the control of his arms. But watch him be like actually like the nicest guy and so sweet and so genuine.
I legit thought that he was a magician. Honestly, when I first saw that, I was like, oh my God, is this guy gonna come out and be like, so watch this? And then he comes out of it, or like, you know, catch me later because I have a show for you, and that there was gonna be some sort of like, you know, dinner theater show going on in the corner.
I have 2 questions. Please help me in the comments with these if need be. Number 1, everybody drinks a lot the first night. How is this man drinking? Is he like having to like put his... Is he somebody like baby birding him drinks? Like,
he is not doing anything. He is just sitting on the couch.
Number 2, bathroom breaks. How does that happen?
I don't want to know. I do not want to know. Do not leave that in the comments.
I'm curious. I can't help it. But okay, we have waited long enough. The drama of the evening comes from the Tyler C, which I have already seen all of your bootleg Tyler C jokes that he is no Tyler Cameron. You have all made them already. I will not make any of them here. But Tyler C versus Yosef. I will say this first and foremost. When I first saw Tyler C and he came in and like the station wagon and all that, and I heard his voice, I was all in. Like, I was like, I love this guy's voice. It was like, it was country enough that it had a charm, but it wasn't like corny. I didn't think of them as just like oh, howdy, I'm here to try to get this woman come back. It wasn't like that I was just like, this guy could tell me to do anything and I would be sort of buying into it.
No, I really liked him too. I did feel like he was pretty genuine, and I feel like he just got kind of caught up on this thing that I understand why he felt that he needed to say something, but at the same time, people that say stuff and cause drama typically don't end up sticking around. And especially with Clare. Clare does not put up with really anything. And I was actually surprised that Yosef stayed. I thought they were both just done, because she is not here for this.
I would have probably in this situation sent them both out. And it's sort of like this. There's no reason in my mind. I have not seen the messages. I was not there, but I have no reason to not believe that Tyler had heard or seen something, because why go through all of this trouble on your very first night if you're just making something up? But I think it is important to remember, nobody really likes people on the show who come in proclaiming themselves to be sort of the moral authority on stuff. And I'm not saying he went like full Luke P or anything like that, but it's just that sort of coming in and being like immediately, this guy is wrong, it sort of puts you in a position where you're sort of lecturing other people on their behavior. And that's, even if his intentions were good, it's not a great look from the get-go.
Yeah, this is first impression night. Like, if you're gonna come in and do something like that on the first night, and I know that he went to Yosef to be like, hey, listen, I know this about you, this has happened, so just so you know, I know, sort of thing. I mean, I don't know what he expected Yosef to do. If I was Yosef, I would have done the exact same thing and went like, all right, I'm done talking about this. Clearly, this is going to be a thing that this guy is going to try to bring up later to Clare. I better just go over to Clare and talk to her about it and tell her my side of the story right away, because whoever goes to Clare first is going to be the person that she's probably going to be like, oh, this guy's being honest with me, he's coming straight to me, and he's spilling it all out, sort of thing. I will say that I love that Clare just went and got Tyler right away instead of going back and forth like we've seen on this show so many times. She's like, no, we're all going to sit here and we're going to talk about it.
I also love that at a certain point after it went too long, she was just like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm going to go talk to other people now. You two just deal with it yourself. I enjoyed that about this and how it ended.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel, this is my tinfoil hat, that Yosef is probably still here because he's kind of getting the villain edit of the season, or at least of this episode, that, you know, he was messaging some ladies, you know, before the show. And in normal seasons, and I have no context to this, I'm just putting it out there, and I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that if you know that you're going on The Bachelorette or The Bachelor, don't go start sending messages to people.
Yeah.
In this situation, I don't know when it happened. So Tyler was saying it happened a couple months before. So if that's the case, and that's the real timeline, that means that Claire's season was not canceled, but it was on hold indefinitely. So that could have been 10 months, a year, 3 years. At that point, I'm like, okay, well, is this guy then supposed to just stop his life? Or what is the context of it? Had he already heard that he was going to be, it's going to be starting back up again? If that's the case, then come on, Yosef. But if that's not the case, and the show has been on hold indefinitely, it's like, how long do you keep your life on hold? Do you start to move on?
It's complicated, right? Because there's a lot of different variables at play here, sort of like you said. I mean, if Yosef doesn't know when this show is coming back, or if he doesn't even know if he wants to actually still do the show anymore, like, he's more than inclined to go and live his life. Like, there's no problem with someone going and living their life. I mean, if he's doing this to, you know, dozens and dozens of people, which we don't know, you know, there's a certain point where it becomes a little bit obnoxious and over the top, but...
Yeah, like he's playing a numbers game and just like, I'll tell these 12 women they're all beautiful. Maybe one of them will be like, hey.
Yeah, like, we don't know any of this. It's just, the thing about it that rubs me the wrong way, I think, just about him is... He felt very, almost politician-y in the way in which he sort of handled the situation when he was there sort of with Clare, in that he didn't really actually just answer anything. He kind of just like did a little dance, kind of circled it for a little bit, and then like if he had just said, you know what, I wasn't sure if the season was gonna happen, I was just trying to live my life, I didn't end up being in a relationship with anyone, like I don't sense there being a huge problem with that, because Clare didn't know a few months ago if she was going to end up doing the season either.
Yeah, that's the thing about this conversation that I feel the show didn't really give us enough context with, is when did this really happen? Like he said a couple months before, so to me that the only context I have is that that would have been right in the middle of, we don't know if we're filming yet because we haven't started yet.
Yeah.
It's still a couple months away. And after production got shut down. But was it going on longer than, like, I don't know, right? And I kind of wish that they had given a little more of that context, because they've given context to the whole sort of season already. Normally they don't talk about, breaking the rules, like what happened with Blake, or, production having to be shut down for a little while. And then we did this with the quarantine and all. Like, they have pulled back the curtain this season. So give us the context on this. Was he just in a situation where, hey, I don't know if I'm going to get a season, or was he being shady?
Here is what I know for sure. If I am Tyler and someone comes up to me and is like, hey, I know something about one of the guys who's going to be on your seat, here's what you do. I can't hear you. Don't say anything to me, because knowledge gets you in trouble on this show. And there is, unfortunately, and I really mean this, unfortunately, there's no way he can bring up this information without putting a target on himself. And then if he doesn't say something and he gets found out later, then he's a bad person for not saying something about it.
It's all about timing is really what it is. First night, you can't do this stuff, like, especially with Clare. Like I said, she's no nonsense. She's not going to put up with this. First night, you don't know anybody yet. You don't know this guy. You don't know Clare. You just don't know anybody. So you just needed to wait. Just wait.
Let's talk about Dale, because there's been so much hype on this man, and
yep.
I get some of it. It's like he and Clare obviously have a lot of chemistry from the get-go. I was still shocked that Clare knew within like 20 seconds seemingly that he was husband material to her, but people know. I certainly think that is something that can happen, and I don't have any reason to think Clare wasn't being genuine. Like, I think she was aware of him before the show. She may have looked him up or something, but she seemed to fall so fast.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you meet people and it's like she said, it's almost like a blackout. And she had just met guy after guy after guy. Oh yeah, nice, cool. And then meet Dale and all of a sudden it's like, woo, right? And I see why she was having that, where she was just like, oh my goodness, like, she's just gone through this like conveyor belt of men, and finally someone just like sparked.
This is what I'm mostly curious about at this point, because we've already all kind of heard all the stories that Clare may end up with Dale, the season may stop early, like all that stuff has been out there for months. It's no surprise Dale gets the first impression rose. I'm sorry everyone else on this season, but
no, I knew that was coming too. I mean, there was a minute there when Clare was talking to Blake and was like, oh yeah, you messaged me at a time that you took a huge risk by doing this. You're breaking the rules, like, to give me a tiny bit of comfort, and I really appreciate that. I thought for a second that maybe she was gonna try to kind of fake it a little bit. And I don't mean fake it like she doesn't like Blake and she doesn't, appreciate what he did. I think she does.
Yeah.
I think more so she knew that Dale was the one from like the second they met. That was a done deal. That's what I think she knew. But to be like, okay, well, I still have to kind of get through this season. Yeah. So Blake did this great thing. I'm going to give it to him to at least be like, thank you.
Here's my big takeaway now from this. Clare ain't playing the game the production wants her to play. Like, no. I think at this point, Clare is going to wear her heart on her sleeve. She's going to be around Dale every single second. Based on that preview,
it's all Dale all the time. Them in a bed, them on the couch, them standing up, them everywhere.
We've got the guys threatening to mutiny against it. There's the whole Dale is different around us. Well, maybe Dale is different around you guys because he just wants to hang out with Claire and he doesn't want to deal with you.
Or maybe he's different because he wants to be with Claire and you guys also want to be with the same woman that he also wants to be with. It is awkward, guys.
Like, it's possible that Dale isn't who he comes across to Claire. Like that we've certainly seen that on the show before too, but I don't think we can make any sort of sweeping judgments based on a few comments from some guys who are obviously very jealous and upset about the fact that they have been locked away from the world, are stuck in Palm Springs getting driven crazy in 110-degree heat, and seeing the person they want to be with spend all their time doting over somebody else.
Absolutely. I can't imagine how frustrating that is because we've seen seasons before where people have met someone and they're like, first night, they're like, oh yeah, man, you can tell that there's a connection there. And you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna make it near to the end. Maybe this is gonna be the person. We've seen that, but we've never really seen it like this where they meet and it's like, oh, that's not even a question.
Here is my last ridiculous comment of this video. This should be an ongoing segment. Dumb things the Bachelorette wants to try to make us believe.
All right.
This one was very early on when Chris Harrison is like talking to Claire and he's just like, you know, Claire, I want you to be our Bachelorette. It's like they're acting like Chris Harrison is the one who chooses and there's no one else involved in the process. It's like Chris just has like an epiphany one night and is like, you know, I have made the decision. Nobody else's opinion matters. ABC, you guys can just bleep off somewhere else.
Or the fact that she's sitting on the bed and somebody's filming her and he's like, I have something to tell you. What could it be? There's only a cameraman in my bedroom. I don't know. Oh, you're going to be a Bachelorette. I am? Dude, get out of here. They should have just done it over the phone. I was just like, who is this cameraman then in your bedroom?
I love that Chris also delivered the virus results to Claire. Like, the end, it's like, I'm Dr. Chris Harrison. I'm here to deliver to you. Like, they might, at that point, they might as well have made Chris, like, the testing person as well with the swab and everything else. It's just like, hey, we're short-staffed. We couldn't get a lot of people into this place. Chris is just going to have to do everything.
Yep.
We'll tie up this nonsense now, but...
Great premiere.
Great premiere.
I had a lot of fun.
I'm all in on the ridiculousness of this season already. What did you guys think? Share in the comments, and if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, tell us why you think this could be the most dramatic season ever.
All right.
And support us further by checking those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.